Briana Moncada, and I'm from California, and the styles I've trained in is jazz, tap, ballet, point, lyrical contemporary, hip-hop, and acrobatics. And I'd say my top two favorite styles would be contemporary and hip-hop. Oh, definitely, like all of them. I wouldn't say I would be like a professional in all the styles, but my favorite that I've always wanted to be good at is point, because my body build is like kind of short and buff, so most ballerinas are like long, and so I loved point, loved doing it, but I wouldn't say I was ever like amazing at it. That's always a good question, because I feel like for me it changes over the time. I feel like I'm always like obsessed with like a certain dancer. I'd say right now my top dancer would be Autumn Miller. I just think she's seriously so good in every style. And yeah, I love watching her videos. Well, I want to say Autumn Miller again, but I'll think of a new one because she would be fun. I would say, oh my gosh, my longtime favorite, Ricky Ubeda. Okay, so he was on So You Think You Can Dance. I'm not sure what season, but it was like towards the beginning. And I'm still following him like on his social media, Instagram, and he just has such a cool, chill vibe to him that like touring with him, like dancing with him, I feel like would be like the greatest environment ever, and he just seems so cool. I feel like turns, which I'm still working on them. I feel like I was never really a turner. Like my for sure number would always be like 3, which like isn't even a lot, and then randomly I'd keep getting more pirouettes. I'd say my most pirouettes would be like 7 when I was so young. I remember one of my solos with my teacher, she's like, come on, we got to get like fast pirouettes. And then I just hit 7 and I was like, what? Never did it again, unfortunately. But yeah, I've always wanted to be a turner, never was, but I still love it. Oh, yes. Okay, my signature move. There's not really a specific name for it, but we all call it the Superman. Yeah, if I had to get advice on learning how to do the Superman, is just being so strong and confident. Because if you're not confident, you're probably going to belly flop or like smash your face, which has happened multiple times. And of course, just being strong, and strong in everywhere. Like your arms have to be strong because you're landing in like a plank. Your abs have to be strong because that's like where your core is, that holds together everything. And your legs have to be strong because that's what's pushing you off to get off the ground. But yeah, it's a crazy cool move. I've tried to teach so many people and I've seen people get close. My biggest achievement, I'd say, would be my last performance competing as a competition dancer, because it was, you're at nationals, you're in a whole nother city, you're with all your friends, your family, your teachers, and I was actually lucky enough to compete another year out of high school. So it kind of just made that whole year and that last performance even more special. And we ended up getting that first place national grand champion award. So just the icing on the cake. Well, my main goal has always been to be just a professional dancer, live in LA and dance since I was like so young. But I actually just had a recent surgery that's kind of like prolonging everything. I had like hip dysplasia surgery, so that's a full year-long recovery without being able to do like hard impact. So I'm currently in like month 4 of recovery, which I'm good now. I'm walking, but it's just like I can't really dance or do like hard impact movement. And then I'm also getting surgery again on the other hip in a few months, so that's prolonging it even more. So like I said, my main goal has always been a professional dancer, but given the circumstances, I feel like it's going to be changing soon. So I'm still in the process of figuring that out. So maybe like a dance, I love being a dance teacher right now, and I'd like to continue doing that. So we'll see what the future holds. Yeah, right now I have 4 screws, I guess you could call them, 10 centimeters long on my right hip. So like I could if I move my leg, like I could feel it, like it's crazy, and the x-rays are literally insane. But I literally just started walking like a few weeks ago, like confidently, because I've been on crutches and wheelchairs for so long. And kind of good thing this quarantine thing happened, because it made everybody be home with me. So I'm like, yay, I see people. But when I get it again in 4 months, it will be probably harder, because I don't know if everyone will be home, if it's the corona's still going on, but we'll see. Yeah, I was so lucky. Like the day before my surgery, my dance studio threw a huge surprise party for me, and it was so cool. It was like a lot of parents and all the kids, even if they didn't dance that day, some kids even just came, and I just wasn't expecting it. Like they brought a ton of like cupcakes and popcorn, and I got gifts, like recovery gifts, and I was like, it was the sweetest thing. So it made me going into surgery like more happy for sure. My advice, I would say, is everything happens for a reason. That's like what I've been saying so much lately as well. Like if any of my friends are listening to this, they know I always say that everything happens for a reason. And I have a younger sister who dances now too, and I just tell her the same. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so actually the first season of Dance Moms that premiered, they had their nationals in Vegas, and that's when I was maybe around like 9 or 10, and I remember everyone just seeing signs all around the hotel, especially in like the competition area, like if you are standing in this hallway, you are agreeing to be on national TV. And everyone's like just so confused, like, okay, like we don't see professional cameras anywhere. Like it was this, I mean, we didn't really believe anything. So it was like the first season of Dance Moms, right? So no one really knows even what's going on. So then finally, when that show airs, we're like, oh my God, wait, were we there? And then finally, as their episodes keep going, and then they go to nationals in Vegas, we're like, what? Like we were there, like this is so cool. So I never even saw them dance. I probably ran into them and saw them, but I had no clue who they were. So we look back on that like taping on the TV show, and we didn't really see ourselves, but like we saw like our team jackets here and there, so that was kind of cool. And then I want to say again in, I think it was 2018 year, 2017, 2018, they emailed my teacher, our studio owner, and they basically were like, oh, we need studios to compete against their team. So she's like, okay, like sure, why not? So we bring a couple of our dances, and it was at this, it was in the city, literally right next to us. So it took us like 20 minutes to get there. Like it was so cool and close. It was at a high school. Like it wasn't even this big setup. It was just like normal, right? So we get there, and we get there early because we want to see them come from the bus, right? So there's so many people outside from all these different dance studios, and we see them drive up in their huge bus, and everybody goes crazy. Like, we have pom-poms, we're just yelling like Abby or whoever, whatever girls were there at that time. And I was right in the front with my sister and like my friends, and I was just like taking selfies with them, like taking pictures for people. It was so cool. My dad even got a picture with Abby. Like, it's just so funny. And then, so at one of the competitions, so it happened twice. We competed against them at this high school in 2017 or 18. And I guess the most like memorable moment, I guess you could say, from that competition was my sister and I doing our sister duet. And I don't know exactly who we were competing against, but at that competition, I forgot what studio, some random studio got first place. Wasn't us, wasn't Abby's studio. And then Sophia and I, my sister, we got second place. And then third place was like Bryn and her duet partner. It was like a guy at the time. And then fourth place was Kendall and her guy partner. So that was so cool because, you know, everyone's expecting them to get first place. So we're freaking out. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I have pictures from that. So that was my most memorable time. And another cool, like, I guess, insider was in our dressing room. I'll never forget when Abby came into our dressing room, definitely in a rush, in like a panic. I guess she was super panicky. I don't know. She was like, does anybody have gold shorts? Like, she really needed gold shorts. All of us are like, no, but there's Target. We could go to Target. She's like, no, I need it now. And then stormed out. Like, I'll never forget that. I thought it was hilarious. But at the time, I was like, oh my God, we need gold shorts. It was so funny. A little bit about how I started teaching is being a student teacher for the studio owner. She was always asking me to be like, come on, Briana, like, come help me in this, like, the combo classes where it's like the 2 to 7 year olds, like one of those ages. So I'd always help her in those when I was in middle school, like maybe 6th grade. So I don't know, I was like 12, 13. And then I kept helping her throughout the years. And then I started helping her with summer camps, week-long summer dance camps. And I love teaching those because I got to choreograph, and I thought it was the coolest thing. Like, you know, the little kids don't know the dances, but like I do. So I was like, oh, you just follow me. So I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. So then when I started getting in high school, maybe I'd say like even my freshman year, I started having my own classes teaching. I want to say it was like the combo classes again, like doing like the older kid hip hops, and then teaching like jumps classes because I've always been like a jumper when I was a kid. And then just pretty much throughout the years, I just kept getting more and more classes. I'd say my most classes I've ever had was when maybe I was like a junior or a senior in high school, because that's when I started choreographing competition routines, solos. I started with solos, younger soloists, and absolutely fell in love with it. And I guess jumping to like this year, 2020, our season did get cut a little bit short, but in the beginning, I don't even know how many solos I was teaching. Like, I want to say like maybe 5 solos, a few duets, and a few groups for all ages. And I never thought I would like choreographing, but because I never thought I was good. I've always wanted to be a choreographer, but I was never like, oh, like it's not going to be good. The kids aren't going to like it. The parents won't like it. But I've been getting good feedback, and I love it, and definitely will continue teaching because I love it. And that's kind of the backstory of my teaching. Something that I haven't done that I want to do as far as like choreographing dances is, I guess, maybe choreographing a large group. I would say that would be like it would be a big accomplishment, and I feel like that's so hard. I don't know why. Like, I've taught large groups before after the dance has been choreographed. Then I'll like take over and like clean it. Or I've started choreographing a large group, but I had lots of input, from different teachers. So it's kind of like a group effort. But I've never done one on my own, and maybe that's something I would want to do. I feel like all the formations and the song has to be perfect, and figuring out which kid should do what, which kid should be where. And, I just feel like there's so much to it that people don't realize. So that would be really cool. But I don't know, it'd take me a long time to like get it right and get it the way I want it to be.